This is Jewish Board Talk with Charisse Zeifert, only on 101.9 High FM.
As our schools and universities begin the new academic cycle, it is reassuring to know that the options of careers are constantly growing. If you live in the Cape, though, your choice is even bigger. That is thanks to Saul Berman, who is creating technical engineering faculties in schools. His project was successfully launched in 2020 at Wynberg Boys High, and in February this year, they will begin building at Wittedrift High School in Plettenberg Bay. I'm delighted to have Saul as my guest now. Saul, welcome and thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start right at the beginning. Tell me a little bit about yourself and the Berman brothers.
Myself, I was at school. I left school in 2008. I'm dyslexic. I've got a learning disability. And I went to a technicon called Maitland Technical College. When you went to a technicon, can't remember how many years ago it was, about 36 years ago, you were labeled as being stupid, doff, and you're an outcast. You lose your limited sporting career and you lose all your friends and you're completely alienated. And I vowed one day to bring the technical education into a school curriculum. And 30 years later, we changed the education curriculum and system, and we brought technical education into school curriculums. So we've opened Wynberg Boys successfully in 2020. And in December this year, we finished We've joined force with Leap School in Cape. Leap School countrywide. They've got 8 schools, but we've done the first, which is in Crossroads and in Langa, and then we're going to be doing PAL for next year. Grade 10s. We've opened this year 27 kids in Langa, 23 in Crossroads, which 40% are actually female, which is the most amazing thing, who want to be engineers. And we plan to roll out with them countrywide. They've got currently 8 schools, and we want to grow it with them to 20 schools. And then, in Plettenberg Bay at the moment, Wittedrift, we're going to be building a technical and engineering faculty, which includes an art faculty. And we are on a drive at the moment for fundraising. We're about 8 million short, and then we will start building in February to finish by November to open up for next year. So we're on a drive. The education department, as I'm sure you know, countrywide goes very well, but I don't take no as an answer, and I'm not going to be delayed by any red tape. So yes, and these technical engineering faculty we want to roll out countrywide, and it's very important that we have another opportunity or option at school level where kids can learn different subjects, and a trade or an engineering or architect classes at school or at school level, so that when they leave school they are employable and also can go and study a career of their choice with knowing what is out there. Because unfortunately, kids today at school don't know who they want to be, and they leave school, and most of them, the parents decide what they're going to study and where they're going to go. Or our grandparents decided for our fathers, and it comes all the way down. And I think today we need to allow our kids to be who they want to be and to support them. It's their lives. So by having this faculty at a school level is the most incredible opportunity for kids to learn the practical and the theory at the same time. And what we also do, we have a mentorship program where kids have got mentors, because when I grew up, there were 3 or 4, they were unreachable. Today, there's probably hundreds of thousands of us that can take on kids, advise kids, give kids hope and allow them to dream. But at school level, the kids will go and work once a month, at least in the industry that they choose to work in, school holidays. And then after school, they are needed, wanted. It's like these big accounting firms and legal firms that go to universities and look for the top students. There'll be these companies of engineers and architects and tradesmen that will go to these schools and start looking for kids who they can offer jobs and study opportunities.
So
that's from a... Sorry?
No, carry on. That's from a...
Yeah, so that's from a program point of view, from a school point of view. We want to roll out these schools countrywide. So we've started a foundation called the Hands-On Foundation, which is my brother Paul and myself. We've got a very strong board, and what we are contributing is, in all foundations, you normally have quite a cost. So when you raise money, at least 30 or 40% goes towards costs of running the foundation. So when we raise money, the money goes to the source, because we take care of all running costs. So if someone out there is giving us 100,000 Rand or 1 million Rand or 10 million Rand, it's going to the source, which is either the school or the bursary or the learning program. So yes, we are pumped, ready to go and to change the landscape of South African education. And we will.
I think it's absolutely fantastic. Paul, the world you described earlier, 36 years ago, if you went to technical school, our choices then seemed so limited, and the world seems like a much bigger place with so many more options. Do you think there's still a stigma attached to technical schools?
I think there's a stigma of technical schools in isolation. However, when I started this campaign or this foundation, or to visualize and make my dream come true, the brief to whoever was said, I want to do this under the radar and quietly. And I said, but it's your story that is important. It's your story that gives the kids out there today the hope and the opportunity to dream. So I think, yes, many years ago, it certainly did. I think people are changing today. I mean, if you look at me, I'm only a qualified electrician. I've got a 7-8 low grade. I'm dyslexic, got a learning disability. And I ran one of the biggest construction companies in the Western Cape. Sure. And today we're one of the biggest developers in the Western Cape.
Sure.
With no degree.
Sure.
I've qualified in every trade practically. I think today it's going to be far more employable, and you can speak to people out there. Is it harder for their son to get a job as an electrician or a plumber or engineer, or a attorney or an accountant, or someone in economics? So yes, a trade is also a universal degree.
Yeah.
Not that we teaching and training kids to leave the country. We're teaching and training kids to put back into the country. But yeah, it's a universal degree. And no matter how the world changes with IT, no one's going to be able to build your house from a computer or without their hands, or fix your electrical or plumbing or engineer or architect.
Exactly. So we're going to take a short break, and after the break, we're going to actually look at the needs of the technical industry.
This is Jewish Board Talk with Charisse Zeifert, only on 101.9 High FM.
And I'm talking to Saul Berman. He is creating technical and engineering faculties in school. Just before the break, Saul, we were talking about there will always be a need for an electrician and a plumber. Do you think that we are churning out and putting too much emphasis on degrees and academics, when actually what our country needs are more technical trade people?
It's a very interesting point, because unfortunately, as a parent of 4 children, when your kids are born, what's the first thing you do? You take out an education policy for your kids to go to a university. So you choose direction of which your kid is going to go based upon what you believe your kid should do. So yes, it is very sad. And yes, we push our kids all. If you look at the schools today, it's all about the distinctions and who came first and all that kind of stuff. So the whole education system needs to change. The whole ethos needs to change, and the vision for what we want our kids to be and grow up to be. And the unfortunate thing is, kids at school don't know who they want to be, and they haven't got the exposure out there to see what there is out there. So yes, and the sad thing is, your kid chooses to be an attorney or a doctor or an accountant first choice, and then they ask you in your application, what's your second choice, what's your third choice? And then the university chooses for you who you're going to be one day by their allocation, not what you want to be. So yes, the whole system is completely flawed. And that's what's very important for the foundation. Besides the technical and engineering faculty at school, if you're asking me what I'd like to do, my vision beyond this is to build music faculties and sports faculties and art and culture faculties at all schools, because our kids are good at something.
Yes.
And it's the school's job to find out what our kids are good at.
Yes.
And yes, so the whole system, curriculum needs to change at school level.
You launched successfully at Wynberg Boys High in 2020. What does that look like? What is happening at that school?
It's thriving. It's absolutely incredible. Very proud of what we've achieved together. I'm going to just find the results. Actually, I've just got it through now, because our kids came the top 3 in the Western Cape, and one came the top in the country. It's an incredible school. A lot of kids from the faculty have actually become engineers and architects. A few have gone into the trades, but the most amazing thing. So when you at a normal school, so the faculty is like being at a university where you've got different faculties, and if we at school together, we do English, Afrikaans, and math together. And maybe science, you go do geography or history, I go do electronics or civils. And we all come out of school at and we get our university pass. But what we've actually changed now, because my wife said to me, your dream is partially true, but you're not looking after people like yourself. So if I decide at school level that I'm not an academic, and I'm just not going to go to university, and I want to do a trade, then I can choose at school level to do technical maths. That means I'll still get a matric, but I'll get a matric with technical maths. And kids freeze today who are not good at maths. Yeah. So it's a great opportunity and change. So yes, so Wynberg Boys in 2020 was a top electronics student in the Western Cape. 2022 was a top construction student in the Western Cape. And 2023 was a top electronics student in the country.
Oh, incredible.
So, we just started.
Congratulations. On that very wonderful note, we're going to say thank you so much for joining me. I enjoyed this conversation, and I hope your schools continue to develop and grow.